Joining me today is Pam Melton, who has started a company called How Media. This company will teach you how to do something that you never understood before, like how do you play football if your son's playing football and you never knew how to do it, or how do you lay a tile? So excited to have you here today, Pam. And I know you've had a very varied background, work experience. Tell me how you came up with this concept and what inspired you and how your background gave you the credibility and the foundation for moving this idea forward.
Well, thank you for having me. In my background, I worked in the home improvement industry, and everything that you ever read or hear about the home improvement industry talks about how women drive that industry. Whether or not we do the projects, husbands don't run around thinking, we need to paint the living room, right? So women drive that. And as an insider in the industry, what I saw was while the industry was aware of the effect that women have upon it, it made no real effort to be there for women and to provide a resource for women. And part of my job duties were whenever any of our equipment was going to be featured on home improvement television, they would have me go and be the guest. And I also did all the training for store employees. I do, clinics at the store for consumers and whatnot. And it just came out that there's something about me that inspires the desire to go and do whatever it is. And so I hooked up with a couple of producers who have done a lot of work on HGTV and Food Network and whatnot. And we launched this media company. We started with home improvement because that's where we focus, but in thinking about a woman's daily life, there are so many things that we have to do now that our mothers didn't have to worry about, our grandmothers didn't have to worry about.
That are seemingly maybe masculine,
yeah,
or that we were never really taught in school, and those kinds of things.
Exactly.
Right.
You'd be amazed at how many women are still, freaked out about the thought of having to balance the checkbook or QuickBooks. Oh my God, And so we figured we could take our approach and apply it to almost anything. So we started with home improvement and home repair and gardening, which you'll see on our site. And then we also brought in sports. I'm a huge sports fan, and women, whether you're dating or you're a mom or whatever, you never know. I don't want to be a bump on a log on Sunday afternoon while he's like sitting there glued to the tube. So we teach it in a fun way. Okay, here's the rules. So you know what you're talking about when you're sitting there,
So I think it's so interesting because first of all, what you did was identify a need in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. Your career to date gave you that foundation and that platform to basically have enough knowledge in a certain area to say, you know what, there's something missing here. Mm-hmm. And I have an idea that will fill in the gap. And I think a lot of women think about that and are inspired by that, of seeing something that doesn't exist that they feel that they need, that there's a market out there for. So you identified that there was this need to teach, to create a media company that would teach women specifically things that maybe they weren't taught in school or were considered masculine or whatever. Is there a different approach in the way that you teach these concepts? What is your approach that addresses the fact that you are speaking to women?
Good question.
How does that play out for you in your content, in the content itself? Of what
Very good question. There is a lot of home improvement and how-to TV out there. And what we do is we approach it from the viewpoint of the person who doesn't know what's going on as opposed to the person who does. Typically, if you're comfortable with something and you're trying to show somebody else how to do it or how to explain to them how to understand it, you're so comfortable with the subject matter that you may gloss over things because it's just second nature. So we approach it from the point of view where I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you I don't know what I'm doing. And if I mess this up, you're going to see it. And if there's a way to fix it, you're going to see it. And sometimes at the end of some of our projects, we may say, this was an absolute nightmare and you need to pay somebody to do this. But this is what you look for when you're looking for that somebody to pay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, I think, what makes us different.
And very, very true how often we know our craft so well that we can't really explain it to others. So tell me a little bit about, you're obviously a businesswoman, you're savvy, you've always worked. Yep. Tell me a little bit about the business model behind this product and what your plan is for realizing revenues and revenue streams.
Good question, especially in these times. The basic business model comes from the fact that women drive most of the consumer dollars in this country. Nobody treats us like we do, but we do.
Something like 85% of the buying decisions are made by women.
By women. Is that not insane? Everybody's looking to rob our pocketbook, you know, but nobody's looking to help me how to keep it from falling apart, right? So I identified the fact that there is a definite consumer who's looking for the product. Tried to attach the dollars to that. Our model is basically going to be advertising based, you know, during our first 2 to 3 years as we're building the brand and building the reputation. What we want to do is be not only a resource for women, but a platform for products and companies that have got strong values when it comes to their customers. You know, I'm very put off by the whole merchant mentality that our country has taken. It's like, I want to partner with companies who make a great product that does what they say it's going to do, with companies who do what they say they're going to do, and expose them to this huge, you know, potential for getting female dollars.
And in addition, really being able to influence their product development.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
So
absolutely, it was very aggravating to me in the hardware and tool business, for example. Even though women are out there buying drills, nobody paid attention to making grips smaller or making it lighter until they realized that, hey, you know, Hispanic men, they have small hands. So they designed tools that work for women, but with the mindset of going after men with smaller hands. You know what I mean? So we want to definitely influence the decisions that are made by those people who are making products that they say they're selling to us. And we want to let women know what all's out there for you. There are amazing things that women can do if they only knew what tools were there to help them get it done in a satisfactory and fulfilling manner, you know?
that is so great. And I mean, I, for one, could definitely use these tutorials. Tell me, so you joined, when did you join Ladies Who Launch?
I joined Ladies Who Launch, gosh, I guess it was last year, maybe year before. It kind of all runs together. Well, one of my business partners joined first. She did an incubator, and she has a going business of her own. And she was having trouble focusing on getting how media going and still keeping
Juggling
up.
the two at the same time, which we see a lot with women, or multiple businesses and projects going on. And how do you balance that, and also how do you look at those jointly and see what's the overlap and how can we work together and all of that?
Exactly. And Ladies Who Launch was such a gosh, I don't even know the word of coagulating. I don't know. It just brought everything together for her. It helped her so much. It made her feel less frantic and more excited. And so we decided that she did the incubator first, and we put into practice a lot of the things that she learned. And near about 8 months later, I then did the incubator. So we're all about being a Ladies Who Launch company, but it was so great because the energy in those meetings, and even the ongoing, you know, the monthly ones where we get together, the energy is so phenomenal. You just really...
It really is a contagious energy.
It is.
I know, and it just keeps you going. I mean, I also love that you as partners took the Incubator Intensive Workshop at different points in your business, and also were able to leverage 2 different groups during that 4-week time frame, which has really probably been quite valuable to have, to be able to tap into those different networks and community connections.
Yes, it has been huge. I mean, this is such a phenomenal organization. There was one we went to, there was one meeting where a lady had come in and she had done an incubator previously, and then she joined another, you know, business group, and she had come back for a visit, and she was like, you would not believe just the difference in the energy. You know, when you've got a bunch of men running a meeting like that, it's just a completely different vibe, and it's kind of hard to describe. You have to do it to feel it, you know.
And the great thing is, we love men.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love them. We totally do.
Absolutely.
But there's something about that feminine environment and validating those feelings for women and providing a structure that really speaks to that feminine side that I think really, really works.
Absolutely.
So, which of course you're doing with How Media. So thank you so much for joining us. And your website is howtv.tv.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
All right.
Victoria.